Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back down under the mat. We are here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. This is Mr. Dan Danielson. I'm Rowdy Roddy Reece, holding a microphone this time. Wanted to do something different. We are here to talk about all things professional wrestling, and we're going to talk to you today about
you just remind me.
Saudi champions, mate.
You just remind me of Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well, I'm an expressive person.
Yeah, you got a microphone, so you know what to do with your hands the whole time.
Now I can just like swap, chop and change all the time and get it right up in my gob. Hopefully I sound really good to everyone at home.
Sorry, editor Luke.
Yeah, fuck you. Don't need to start off asking you how your weekend was because, surprise, surprise, we spent the entire weekend together. PWA King of the Metro was attended on Friday evening in Sydney.
It was.
Great show. Congratulations to the Tuck Man winning the PWA King of the Metro Rumble from position number 1. He ran the gauntlet like so many iconic wrestlers before him, a la Shawn Michaels, Redacted, Cody Rhodes,
Redacted, yeah.
Steve Austin do it? Surely he couldn't have done it with his crabby
do it
knees.
No.
Yeah, okay. Figured as much.
Ray
Anyway,
won it from number 2.
Number 2 doesn't count.
Technically not quite the same.
I mean, people should say that counts because both number 1 and number 2
Start the match at the same time.
start at the same time. It's the same record as far as I'm concerned.
Rumble. I think one of the important facts too for the PWA guys or for Tucky himself is that he's also in the Barroom Brawl Rumble this weekend at MCW.
Oh.
And he actually has a chance to go back to back in Rumbles.
There is a Rumble in Newcastle as well coming up. So maybe the Tuckman can go back to back to back.
And then he can come down for the Slam Rumble next year and just win Rumbles everywhere.
Line it up.
He can be the Rumble King.
Line it up, Tucky. You could be the Rumble King of Australia.
You know what he has lined up?
An opportunity to regain that PWA Soul Championship off the man who took it from him, Robbie Eagles.
That's right, Robbie. Too sweet, mate. Can't wait. Oh, yeah, we're going to go do it properly.
We're kind of rooting for Tucky here. Sorry, Rob.
But look, we've said it heaps of times. If you are around a local promotion, go and watch them. The King of the Metro event was awesome, start to finish. There was 3 matches, and then there was the Rumble. It's just so much fun hearing the whole crowd. I'm sure if we haven't, we will reshare the tweets and the clips on Instagram from Tucky of him doing his entrance, Chelsea Dagger. It is Australia's Yeet. It's so much fun. Get out and support local wrestling because as much as we all love watching these pay-per-views and the absolute cinema that occurred in the main event that was completely overbooked but absolutely fantastic in doing so, going and seeing local wrestlers
it's something
their all
special.
For the crowd is
something special. And I'm going to preface this before we properly jump into Night of Champions. I reckon this was about a solid 4-star pay-per-view.
This was way better than I anticipated it to be.
Absolutely. I remember sitting there watching it with my wife and I was just having a blast. And I was like, for a Saudi show, usually they're kind of middling or so. But like this was just like entertaining throughout the whole thing. But a couple matches fell a little flat, in my opinion. But
one of them was a tag team wrestler that couldn't win a single title. Is that what
Here
you're
we go. You want to throw that back in my face.
I other think too, and I've seen a lot of discourse about this online recently, is around the crowd in Saudi.
Yeah. And we even shat on the crowd after watching SmackDown.
SmackDown crowd, I think, was a bit average. Or it was probably the same crowd. I had my issues with certain segments on SmackDown. It was really flat.
Yeah.
But this crowd was really strong. They obviously love pro wrestling. They pay millions of dollars to get it over there, and that's fine. I think we now need to understand that the Rumble will be huge for them. And I think the crowd will be fully into that. I think it's not a case of if, it's a case of when they get a WrestleMania now.
Well, the rumours going around, that whole rumour about there being 2 WrestleManias per year is because Saudi wants to do their own version of WrestleMania every year.
Yeah, but maybe don't call it WrestleMania. Call it something.
Saudi Mania.
Or like, if they had just kept Crown Jewel and just made that their WrestleMania, I would have been okay with doing that.
I think they took Crown Jewel off Saudi this year so they can confirm that Australia pay-per-view and get Cena over here one last time.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of why that was changed.
Okay. We could have been Bad Blood Down Under, which we pitched. And we gave them.
I even made the graphic for them.
Yeah, so good. But you look at the Saudi crowds. You look at 2018 or whatever, the first time they went over there.
Yeah.
And the first 5 or 6 rows of the crowd were people sitting down having dinner, not even facing the ring or paying attention. It was a Saudi event to go to that had wrestling on.
Yeah.
Whereas now it is a wrestling event in Saudi. And I think that the crowd over the years have now, they've
commanded their place.
They have commanded their place, and they've also sort of taken on the wrestling personas and the wrestling thing of being a crowd. And I also feel, and this is probably just my mentality for the way that the crowds work for the WWE product, internationally, I think crowds are trying to make themselves a character, and we're trying to one-up everybody else. You look at what we did in Brisbane for AEW, right? The way that we sang Edge's theme, we put on massive cheering. We were very loud. We did everything to prove a point that look at this Australian crowd. You look at Paris. You look at Puerto Rico. You look at when they do the Europe tours and how great those crowds were. Every single time it feels like an international crowd says, I'm going to be better than the last one.
Yeah, and I want WWE to come back. And I think that's one of the major points is because places like Paris, now they've gotten a fair few in the last couple of years, but prior to that, they got house show tours and that was it.
Yeah.
But now that they're getting Raws and SmackDowns and pay-per-views, it's now time for them to make that noise and be like, hey, you need to come back here more often. We're now something that you should put on the calendar every year, essentially.
And, I mean, we can talk about this part too. I watched the Cody Rhodes podcast with Damien Priest, and he was talking about how much he loved coming to Australia last year. And he got fireworks on barges and stuff. And he was only here for hours and then left. But it seems like the wrestlers also really enjoy traveling. And Damien was saying how he loved Australia. It was great. Bianca and Montez were out here doing the promo tour. And so it's the best. To tie that into Night of Champions, and what I want to mention here is that Punk came out in the pre-match stuff to essentially apologize to Saudi Arabia for that tweet that he made in 2020.
Yes.
People change, right? And I think that once you sort of open up to experiences and accept, people make mistakes, people's opinions change, not always just being purchased by blood money. And, Punk had said, look, he made some bad decisions at the time. It was probably inappropriate, and he's nothing against the crowd and the country of Saudi Arabia. And I think he had to do that so that he didn't get booed out of the building. Yeah. Because that could have occurred.
I did see a rumor online that WWE scripted his apology to try and avoid that. But I feel like with the way Punk's gone the last few years, he's aware of the fact that he's made some not so great decisions in the past. And as an adult and a human being, the ability to realize when you've made those bad decisions and can rectify it yourself, you take any opportunity you can.
Yep.
And I think that's just what Punk did. I
also think maybe this is me overthinking it and just, overbooking things like we like to do on this podcast. But always. I feel like this was a choice for Punk and Cena to be in Saudi, because I think knowing the amount that these two have had creative control over their careers, especially since they've both returned for this run, so to speak, if they wanted to run this at Money in the Bank like they had in 2011, they would have. And they would have timed it in so that was when this feud would have happened. They would have done it, but they didn't. They chose to do it here. And I think they chose to do that for the storyline points that we've said throughout the whole build-up to this match, was that Punk doesn't go to Saudi. He's always said he won't go. Cena's being the heel and making him do it. They put that into the story.
It worked so well too.
And it did. And I think it only worked because Punk wanted it to. Because if Punk was this guy that was fully against Saudi and everything was horrible and he hates it,
never would have happened.
He wouldn't have gone.
Yeah. Plain and
He'd be
simple.
that's fine. We can do this at SummerSlam. You know, at SummerSlam, fine. We'll do it at Crown Jewel. And then it happens at another point. But he said yes. He said, let's do it here. He gave Saudi what they wanted. We can talk about the main event first, because I think that's the biggest thing out of all this.
I can't scroll down to my notes because I didn't take any, because I didn't need to. This match was phenomenal.
The thing that led into this, and we had this on the pod last week, was that Cena was doing the pipe bomb, and we said that this Friday in SmackDown was going to be the 14-year anniversary from the pipe bomb. They're going to do something big. Cena on the
the Fanatics Fest. Fanatics Fest
said,
we got something special in store for you. And boy, did they deliver.
Did Punk deliver?
Oh, holy shit. I can't
Punkonomics.
believe that. Unfortunately, we had the theme of what was going to happen spoiled before we watched SmackDown, but knowing that, yeah, we did.
We did?
Well, we saw the Punk Life Titantron. At least I did before I actually got to the segment on SmackDown because of the time delay. But when that came, Cena got a couple of sentences in, and basic thugonomics hits.
So
Punk Live comes up on the screen. CM Punk walks out looking like Steve Buscemi in that TV show, pretending to be a high schooler.
how you doing, kids?
How do you do, fellow kids? Ridiculous.
But
And
I
then
loved the touches of it being a Cubs shirt and a
the
Bulls hat.
and then everything being
All Chicago.
like the drug-free knuckle dusters being Chicago colored as well.
Yep.
Great touches. Absolutely loved it. And boy, did Punk deliver on this promo as well. You could tell at points that he wasn't really used to that cadence in his promo work, so he kind of slipped up here and there.
The phonetic style of the promo.
Yeah,
Look at that. I did English at school.
I baited out of English in my last year.
But yeah,
Can't half tell.
the rhythmic way of doing a rap battle.
Yeah,
type
and
thing.
having to rhyme everything as well.
Yeah, and
I think he did really well.
some
with
of the
most
lines,
part.
some of the lines were so great. The one about if the company brought back my ex, I'd want to retire too. Great shot. What were the other ones that he did?
Oh, the Kendrick Drake one is the one that sticks out in my mind the most.
Yeah. He dropped a Macklemore and a Mackle-less one, which I thought was slightly controversial considering his stance on things that are happening in the Middle East and have been happening in the Middle East. That one didn't go too well.
Yeah, I think that kind of ties back to your initial opinion on the Saudi crowd was because that, if you do that in the US, that would have gotten a huge pop, but it got essentially no reaction from the crowd there. So.
And that was my worry, was that maybe it was that the references for this weren't as global as they could have been. They were a bit more targeted, and I felt like this crowd did not react to Punk's rapping and jokes the way that I feel like if this was in Chicago or New York or somewhere,
The whole crowd would have been popping the entire time, every single line.
And I think the crowd popped to hear Thugonomics and see Punk, but then it kind of just died.
Yeah.
And they were just like, we're here for it. It's great. It's cool. Let's go.
But I was sitting there on the couch watching that segment, and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. Just sitting there laughing my ass off.
Good. And then the flip side, the next night, the crowd is wild.
Yeah.
Wild for this match.
Mental, dude. Mental.
And I said, I've absolutely said on this podcast, all I care about in this feud is the build up to it and the promos. And I'm a little disappointed we never got an actual back-to-back promo. Like they like Punk had a promo.
We got the
Cena
first
had a
one, the
promo.
first interaction where they like confirmed they were going to take it to Saudi for the match. But then after that, it was just single promos from there.
Yeah, and it was shoes on the other foot, right? Cena did the pipe bomb and Punk did the Thugonomics, which is great. It was a great touch. But there was no more interaction between them. I think if you had have run this at somewhere like Summerslam where you've got 5 or 6 weeks up to it, you'd have more time.
Oh, man. The build-up for Punk Cena at SummerSlam would have been monumental.
Yeah. But, I mean, I was like, well, I wasn't too fussed on seeing the match. I wanted to see everything before it. But then this match delivered, man.
Oh, it was...
For those
From the
that were
get-go.
like, oh, it was such a boring match. It was a copy-paste of 2011. It was all their feuds previously. Yeah. Because it's what we wanted to see.
Good every time. And, like, I was going to mention it. I haven't yet seen people stitch together that match with previous matches to show.
Oh, if it was actual spot for spot.
They've had, 14 confrontations. They were 6 and 6 with a draw and a no contest. Yeah. And then this was the deciding factor on who was the better with the feud.
Oh, let's not say that, but okay.
Mate, who's got the winning record in the feud now?
Don't say that.
Who's got... Just answer the question,
it's John
Dan.
Cena.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Greatest of all time, yada, yada, yada. I know what you mean. But like I even said to you, I mean, this is easily Cena's best match, right? Since in this run, I think this is easily his best match. Cody was good at WrestleMania, but I don't think we were as invested. Obviously, the Randy match was fine, but it was never going to touch what this could be. John Cena and CM Punk together on a promo or in the ring just bring the best out of each other.
Yeah.
And you can absolutely see it because the trust that they have, Punk doing the Bulldog, Cena doing the 5 moves of doom 13 times in this match, like they kept on going to the well but they kept going to well because they just trusted each other to do exactly what they had to do at the right time.
Yeah.
And the crowd was invested. Every spot was great. And,
The repeated kickouts of finishes as well. It all ties back to all their previous matches. That happens in every single one of their matches.
it was all really, really good. And then John Cena goes and picks up the title belt, and we go, all right, here we go.
Here we go. Then that's when business picked up. But then he got in the ring, and the facade cracked again.
Because it was the crowd telling him no.
Yeah.
And this was, I think, the first
And the
time.
fact that he listened to them as well.
That's the point. He listened
Holy
to
shit.
the crowd.
Like, I saw that and I was like, whoa. Like, this, I don't, from that point, I had no idea where this match was going.
I kind of agree. I think, like, I wanted Punk to win because I wanted to see Punk's Cody, but it probably wasn't going to happen. But I was like, you know what?
There was a point after
happen.
Cody won the Rumble, spoiler, King of the Ring, spoiler, that I thought to myself, holy shit, because they keep referencing Punk and Cody. They're yet to face off. It needs to happen at some point. And it was after Cody won King of the Ring that I was like, shit, is Punk going to win? Are they going to do it at SummerSlam?
No. They're going to do a double turn at SummerSlam. Look at my clips for that one. I'm still...
the YouTube and TikTok, those clips are going like wildfire. Go check them out.
But yeah, obviously Punk Cena gets the title, puts it down. Punk hits a go to sleep. 1, 2, 3, or just kicks out. Then there's the ref bump. And again, this
missed shoulder tackle.
But the key point to this is it was not an intentional ref bump from Cena.
Punk just got out of the way. The next referee, we'll talk about that.
That was definitely the intentional ref bump.
Amazing. But yes, ref gets knocked out. Punk gets back up, does the GTS.
Visual pin.
Visual pin. He's got a title. No ref.
Now this I loved because a lot of people have also commented that how good the stage looked with big massive screens.
Yeah, it looked really good. I loved it.
Please bring back pay-per-view screens. I know Triple H is trying to sell as many tickets as possible and you can sell at arenas.
I miss those
Give
days
us a stage,
of the
please.
90s and the early 2000s where you had a unique stage for every pay-per-view.
And you knew what... Exactly. It looked like a pay-per-view because that looks like Backlash. That looks like Roadblock.
Backlash.
That looks like Halloween Havoc because there's stuff everywhere. Now it's just what's plastered on your digital screen so that people can sit above it. Like, no, give us a stage.
It's unfortunate.
The point I'm trying to make here is that when Punk stood there and waved down the referee, and then Seth Rollins music.
I popped so hard. I was like, holy shit, are they going to do it?
Brilliant that you haven't shown Seth or anyone the entire time yet. So you knew, like, no one knew he was there. So he wasn't on SmackDown. He wasn't on the press staff. There was no Seth. But also the way that they just walked purposefully to the ring.
Yeah. No rushing, no nothing.
Every other time Triple H books a cash in.
Like, well, we've seen with Naomi 3 times already.
Yep. It looks stupid. Right?
This, like, when you compare what Triple H is doing with Naomi and her cash-ins and what Seth's been doing, Seth is just calculated.
He's in control.
He's planning and, in control. And you could see that because they just slowly walked down to the ring and then they got to a point and they stopped.
And then he did this.
And then Bronson and Braun made the charge, beat him down.
This was fantastic. I thought I was done with Punk and Seth. I think I probably am. But now I'm going to see it again at SummerSlam and it's going to be fun. Obviously the beat up of this, Punk jumped over the top rope and nearly missed everybody and nearly landed on his own head. That was a bit much.
That was scary.
The dodgy
he
choke
saved
slam from Braun through the table.
Oh, yeah. That was unfortunate.
They missed that.
Just a timing issue.
But again, this here was kind of a point where you saw all this shenanigans happen and you're like, well, bloodline rules, baby. This is what we're getting. Everything's going wild. I couldn't tell what's going to happen.
It was after that I was like, shit, it's actually going to happen. But then...
And then Seth calls down the ref. And it's everyone's favourite child.
Little Nate.
Little Nate.
Does his little sprint down to the ring.
You get the biggest pay-per-view bonus of your career for this.
That was so good.
Brilliant.
Just running down there.
And
I didn't even expect it. And then he's like gets down to almost at the ring and then John Cena just takes him out.
Boom.
And he went flying that bump.
Chef's
Great
kiss.
work.
Well done.
Great work.
Absolutely superb. The fact that then Seth's like, what are you doing? And Cena's like, what are you doing? And Seth's like, this is not to do with you. And John Cena's like,
this is my title.
It is to do with me. This is my title. That puts all this story together, right? Because it goes to show
the seeds, man.
Seth does not care about John Cena. He does not care about the title. What he cares about was cashing in and ruining Punk, right? That was the whole point of this cash-in, was to ruin Punk's opportunity. He wanted to do it to pin Punk so that it was not Punk winning and he got the title. He didn't care that it was John.
Yeah.
Had no choice. Not a problem. Don't really give a crap. And now that puts that seed in that you now got Seth and Punk again to be like, you've ruined my opportunity with John Cena. I had him beat. If I had a referee, could have won. Seth being like, I don't care about you.
What do they do at SummerSlam?
Hell in a Cell. You have to do something big to end this feud. You've had the cage match on
Punk
Netflix.
getting another Hell in a Cell match within a calendar year? Crazy.
Well, what else do you do? You could do like an I Quit match. You could do a Paul Heyman on a rope match.
I got nothing else, man. It's
Like
got to be Hell in a Cell.
it has
Makes
to be
sense.
a feud-ending thing between the two of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously this was not cashed in on. They got back into the ring.
The handshake after Seth and Bronson and Braun
They've all been
completed ways. Well, I
dispersed.
forgot to mention that Penta came down, took out Braun, and then Sammy came out and took out Braun and Penta.
So that should have been LA Knight.
The attitude adjustment to Bronson Reed.
Oh,
holy
mate.
shit, bro! My God, I was so impressed with that.
Cena is, and the fact that Cena still can do the roll through AA
Yeah,
on someone like Punk.
Cena's still got it when he needs to.
Because the other thing too, this whole event was indoors, but it was like 30, like for us, 36 degrees.
Yeah.
It was over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was like hot and sweaty in there.
Yeah.
And you're picking up a 150 kilo Bronson Reed and you're like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, smashed it. But then the handshake with Punk,
Yep.
and then the hug.
And he goes for the low blow.
We got the face again, and then blocked the low blow. Seth came back in.
Seth hit him with the briefcase as he was
Hit him
gonna
with the
GPS
stomp.
him. And then
Cena throws out Seth, and then capitalizes, gets the victory.
so this was superb, right?
So
Superb
I was
storytelling
pretty happy
right.
with that ending.
I am too, in that Cena didn't go the full heel route
Yeah,
because he put the title down, but then he was like, no, I can still low blow you.
but then got blocked.
Got blocked, but then took advantage of what Seth did. So he
Yeah.
was still heel, right?
Yeah,
But again, like you said, chinks in the armor of is he full heel now, or is he maybe starting to have a bit of
it
conscience?
just works towards that double turn theory, dude. And like even more so after that, especially with what we'll just touch on after we'll jump to the Cody Randy situation. It just lines up perfectly on both ends of the spectrum.
And I think, yeah, this shows Seth is going to keep getting frustrated about cashing in because it gets stopped. I think Punk and Seth.
That's the thing. He's going to be calculated and he's going to plan the opportune moment to do it and have another heist of the century. And he's got Bronson and Braun to back him up.
Mm-hmm.
So theoretically, any cash-ins should pan out in his favor. And I reckon it's just going to be a case of he's just going to repeatedly have shit get in the way and block him from successfully cashing in.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I think this is going to be good, especially now that we've had a longer Money in the Bank for the men's than we did last year.
Oh, for the cash in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, I really, really liked this match. I really liked all the shenanigans around it. People will go and say that it was overbooked and it was a mess and it was too much.
You know what? So was WrestleMania 40, but we fucking love that shit, don't
Correct. I also think that you got to understand this is what you're getting in for, right? This is John Cena's last year. This is a Punk match. This is in Saudi. This is what Triple H is booking. It's going to be like this.
we? Yeah, and I think that WWE will take any opportunity they can to do stuff like that because we reacted so favorably to that Cody Roman main event at WrestleMania 40. So they're just going to keep going back to that well. They won't do it as frequently, I don't think. Because I feel like it's been a little bit since we've had the last situation like that, perhaps.
A little bit, yeah.
I think that was like maybe in the lead up to War Games when people were getting involved with each
You
other or
also had
something.
it at WrestleMania and stuff this year too. Like there was,
Oh, Travis Scott.
yeah, and The Rock and stuff like that. Like you've had it around, but it hasn't been as messy, I guess, as
Yeah.
what this was. The other thing that I think that this needs to sort of be highlighted on is that this kind of elevates Penta up into that
Yeah.
top of the card
Yeah.
type thing. He's been feuding with B&B security on Raw every week anyway. Do you like that?
Yeah, I did. I was like,
J&J
what are you
security
talking
that
about?
used
And I
to
was like,
have?
oh, okay.
It's B&B.
B&B.
I don't think it should have been Sammy. I think it should have been LA Knight because he's the one that's been feuding with them on TV. But I think
No, he's been feuding with Bloodline mainly.
no, he hasn't.
Oh, wait, no.
Bron Breakker.
Oh, I was thinking of Bronson. I was like, Samoan Bloodline.
Yeah, wrong bloodline. He's switched bloodlines. But like
My
LA
bad.
Knight's been dealing with Bron
Yeah.
Breakker and stuff. But I think
Yeah, that would have made more sense. I think they just did it because Sammy was there, to be honest.
Well, and the pop for Sammy in Saudi is always huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for his match against Karrion Kross because no one really cared. Do we want to talk about that match quickly? Carrion, you didn't do as much. You did a back bump. That's great. Good job.
No, we need to talk about it later because we need to shit on something. So let's talk about Cody and Randy.
Right.
Cody and Randy.
All right.
Technical difficulties prevented us from actually seeing the entire promo on SmackDown.
Yes.
So I got to the point where Randy was like, congratulations, Cody, blah, 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 blah. And then everything just cut out. And there have been videos that have been released online about that whole thing.
USA Network,
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we get to the match. Cody and Randy. Pops for both of these guys. Huge.
Absolutely. And singing their songs, singing the music stops and they're still singing. Like, this was where I think everyone was like, oh yeah, Saudi crowd's here.
Yeah, and I think like for me, watching that show, that started it off like on a great trajectory too. So very early on in the match, Randy superplex off the top rope and sold the back like he'd been shot in the back immediately.
He's the best. He's the best at selling.
But and like he gets that concern because we all know about his history with his back problems.
And he knows
seeing that, I was
that
like,
he
oh
knows
shit.
that we know.
Yeah. So he plays it perfectly. But Cody, there's a little bit of some heel tendency showing because he took advantage of that really quickly. He did not care about his and Randy's past. That they're kind of friends at the moment, but they're both going for this championship. And he capitalized on that and took advantage straight away. Yep. What really surprised me with Cody taking advantage was him dragging Randy to the ring post and stretching him around that. Mm-hmm. That's some heel shit right there.
So,
or if you're having an actual feud with someone that you don't like, you do that.
Last year, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens did his knee in a match.
Cody hesitated to take advantage.
Randy Orton, in a match, hurt his back. Did Cody hesitate?
No.
Are we seeing a change in character?
We are.
Is he starting to be a bit more heelish?
And this is what we mean.
Is this going to be a double turn?
The double turn at SummerSlam. It makes so much sense.
That's what we
and
want.
Everyone's cluing into it as well. People were even saying his promo after the match showed some heel. I don't even remember.
I don't remember it either.
I don't remember. I was just like, Cody won. How predictable.
Like the crowd, I think, were cheering Randy over Cody when they did the booyah punches.
Yeah,
it was
that was good to see.
Randy.
That was good to see.
But Randy, didn't really not play the heel. Like, he was the one.
It's Randy. He's so experienced in that ring, and his heel past, he just works that into his in-ring character and his routine anyway.
And he was the one that got the chair to bring it into the ring to distract the referee so he could take the turnbuckle off.
Yeah.
He went to shove Cody in. Cody blocked it. And then, as a good babyface would do, you would walk away from that and you wouldn't use it. But no,
he's still
Cody
there.
went to go put Randy's face into it and he blocked it. And you're like, oh, so he's trying to take advantage.
Well, yeah.
And then he goes to the RKO and then he gets shoved into it, nipple straight into the turnbuckle.
Can we, before we...
1, 2, 3.
That's the finish. But let's talk about the Cody cutter into the RKO.
Great spot.
Still managing to get new and unique ways of doing the RKO. Both of them had kicked out of finishes earlier.
Yep.
Which was great to see.
Randy hesitated to do the punt, and that probably cost him.
Oh, dude. I was like, shit, is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? I was waiting for it. I was hoping for it, to be honest.
You were?
It's been so long since we've seen it.
I don't think you'll ever see it.
Yeah, I know.
I think
all the
it's that
CTE
move.
stuff, yeah.
You're never going to see him punt anybody. He will tease it constantly and never actually do it.
But yeah, the fact that Cody kicked out of 2 RKOs in this match.
Yep.
Crazy stuff.
Randy kicked out of 1 or 2 crossroads.
I think it was just the one from the notes that I took.
Yeah. Okay.
Because...
and he never did multiple crossroads to finish, which is what has always been a hallmark of Cody's actual finishes. When he hits you with
on
2 or
those
3,
big marquee matches, that's it.
Roman was
3 crossroads,
3 crossroads.
Boom. Match done.
Randy was 1.
All right, we'll move on to the next match, which was the first women's match of the evening, not the Queen of the Ring. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Wow, fucking 4 R's in that. Jesus Christ.
So they've got R's tattooed on their fingers.
Yeah, I know. I think they did really well with that promo.
Dude, I wish we had that promo package
come into the match.
And I feel like this is
so much history between those two.
I feel like this is, hey, Liv got injured. We need to reshuffle. What do we do?
And then they just went, bam. Here's your history. There you go.
But it was great. It was a fantastic
Loved
video. The promo package was all really well. It put a really strong story between the two of them. I think finally, thank God, they're actually booking Raquel Rodriguez as a big powerhouse woman.
And that's what I wanted to note down because Raquel started this match very dominant.
Yep.
And for about half of this match, she was on top of Rhea, which we don't see Rhea in that position very often. So it's kind of nice to see that, you know, Rhea fight from that underdog position because she's usually the one getting down on everyone.
Winning and then doing the sexy pin.
The sexy pin. We did watch her interview with CVV over the weekend as well, which is amazing. And I'm going to divert a little bit. After watching that podcast with CVV, it's really interesting to see just like how people tweak their own voice to like build their character. Because Rhea Ripley and Demi Bennett sound very similar, but the way that Rhea speaks
compared to
Demi,
does.
yeah. Demi's chill, man. She seems like the nicest person you'd ever meet.
And then you look at her, you're like, oh God.
Yeah. And the pump comes.
Good way or bad way, depending on how you want to look at her.
But yeah, I really liked seeing Raquel tie Rhea up in the ropes and just like beat the crap out of her with the kendo stick and everything.
You don't think that they realised what they were doing. You've got two large women in a ring.
Spandex
all
fake
black,
barbed wire
tied up,
and-
taking a belt off and whipping her. I mean, I'm sure there's some laws in
that
Saudi,
belt
but
came
that
off
shouldn't
and I was
happen.
like, woo, here we go. Sitting there, gushing over Rhea while my wife's sitting next to me.
The only other thing I could think when I watched this, and then when Roxy comes out later and she gets put in a garbage can and kicked in the head.
That was funny.
Well,
Loved
the
it.
Judgment Day, that was funny. Is how much is next year's Women's Royal Rumble going to just be a complete Catwoman cosplay?
Power Rangers.
So many. Shay Cassidy. Shay, if you're watching, your Power Ranger stuff at PWA on the weekend was superb. Absolutely
And
fire.
thank you to Frankie B for designing the outfit.
Well done.
And also for making Scotty Greens.
Yeah, that was a massive detour then on that point. But anyway, my point was that like
Back to it.
obviously the laws in Saudi got to like cover themselves, and I think Rhea had to like really cover herself because you can't show tattoos.
Yeah.
Well,
She's got the ones on her hands, which like you can't really do much
She's not
about
wearing
that.
gloves.
No.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Because I thought about it when she was on her way to the ring and then she like did something with her hands and I saw her tattoos. So.
Oh, okay. But yeah, she was like really covered, like just to make sure.
I thought Scarlett's outfit later in the night was pretty interesting because her like top, like from her bust up was mesh. So you could still kind of see her titties.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, are they going to get cranky about that? Is that not allowed?
I don't understand the logic that like you can watch them every week on TV in their underwear, but then when they're in your country, no, we can't see that.
Yeah, because I noticed even when they were doing advertisements for other shows, they would only show clips of the women when they were in Saudi.
Yep.
Interesting. Perplexing. Back to the match. Roxanne comes out to try and help Raquel seal the victory. Fails in her attempt to do so. And then the final spot, propping that table up on the top rope.
Awkward, but
and
cool.
the actual top rope avalanche riptide, which I feel like is one of the first ones they've done because it's usually off the second rope.
Correct.
From what I remember.
Yes.
Crazy. Great finish to the match. Good to see Rhea come out on top. Going to be interesting to see when...
Hard disagree.
You think Raquel should have gotten the victory?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I will say, as much as we all love Mummy and we love Rhea on this show, I think Raquel needed the win because I'm worried for what those tag titles are without Liv.
Yes.
And you know it's going to be Raquel and Roxanne, and there's going to be a tension story, and we've already pitched that at some point they're going to lose them. Liv's going to come back, get the shits. There's your Liv and Roxanne feud, right? But I feel like that feud is fueled and made bigger by Raquel being strong. If Raquel keeps losing and doesn't get a good win,
You've changed my mind
nobody
already.
gives a crap about those tag titles, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if she had to beat Rhea here,
To be fair, she's a tag team competitor at the moment, and that was a singles match.
doesn't matter. It was a singles match on a pay-per-view. Raquel should have won because Rhea doesn't need it.
Because you're the expert on tag team wrestlers.
Shut up
aren't
with
you?
the Asuka, mate. We'll get to that. I'm very much happy with that decision. Thank you. But I don't think Rhea needed this win. Like,
Look, you've already convinced me in the last 60 seconds of your explanation because Raquel winning that match could have given the potential for this to carry on a little longer as well.
it also just makes the Judgment Day strong again. That they keep getting the one up on
You
Rhea.
might as well disband Judgment Day at this point. It's terrible.
No.
I'm over it.
Are you?
Kind of interested to see where this Roxanne thing's going, but now that Liv's out, it's kind of just like put a huge dampener on everything, which she's
absolutely.
had successful shoulder surgery and is in the recovery period, so thank God for that.
Fingers crossed. She's back sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But, I feel like Rhea didn't need to win this match. I think with Raquel looking strong going into it, putting her through the table on Monday, and Roxanne coming out and helping, you had enough things stacked against Rhea that she could have lost, and it's not damaging to her career whatsoever.
Yeah.
Rhea walks out. She's the biggest superstar in the WWE again. Doesn't matter. You watch, like I was telling you, I watched the Cody and Damian Priest episode of his What Do We Want to Talk About podcast. And they both said how much they adore Rhea and how big she is. The fact that she's moved from the other side of the world. She's one of the biggest merch sellers. She sells, like Cody said, if you look at the data and you look at the numbers, what Rhea is moving is phenomenal compared to everybody else. So I don't think she needs to beat a Raquel Rodriguez on a Night of Champions pay-per-view to continue doing that. Her music hits, everyone cheers, she gets
Everyone
a
goes
match.
mental.
I know the rumor that you said to me online is that
Well,
she's
let's talk about
getting
that. Yeah, let's talk about that because Nico Extra on Instagram put a post up today that Body Slam is reporting Rhea versus Io for the Women's Championship is being penciled in for Evolution 2 in a mere matter of weeks. And I said, I made the change to our podcast Instagram page so I can comment on his saying, as Australians, we absolutely love Rhea. No question about it. I do not want to see that. I think Rhea needs a break from the World Championship scene for a little bit. I know we stumbled upon a terrible decision of Rhea and Nikki Bella teaming up and dethroning Liv and Raquel at Evolution 2. Liv's obviously out, so maybe it's Roxanne. Maybe
I
that
think
doesn't
that still
happen.
makes sense.
Yes, because here's the thing. We've still got the Rhea and Raquel situation going on.
Yep.
Roxanne can easily slip into that, and then you can bring Nikki back into it, say, hey, Liv's gone, but I've still got beef with you.
Yep.
So, yeah, it can still work, but I feel like Rhea needs that bit of a break from the World Championship scene unless, or else she's going to turn into a bit of another Charlotte situation where she's and you saw that backlash leading into WrestleMania this year with the Bianca Belair and Io Sky match that she got inserted into. You have seen that backlash starting already. People saying she's overbooked in the heavyweight championship picture. So you want to try and get ahead of that and take her out of that scene before it gets to that point.
And I think she, like a Punk, like a Rollins, like a Roman Reigns now, she is the title. Having that match with Rhea on a SummerSlam, on an Evolution, on Crown Jewel is the match. It doesn't have to be for a title because it's with Rhea.
Yeah.
So you use her to elevate whoever she's versing. If we can get Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley at Crown Jewel, that is a massive match for Roxanne because she gets Rhea. And also, Australia's going to love to see Rhea Ripley wrestle.
No.
You don't need a title on it. Doesn't need it at all. So I think keeping her away from that for a little while means that when she does go back for that title, that will be even more beneficial for her and it'll be even bigger. Charlotte hasn't had a title since 2023. It's 2 years now since she's had a title.
To be fair, she was out injured for over a year. But
correct. But we're all sort of keen, we're sick of seeing Charlotte, death taxes, Charlotte wins a title. If she can go with Alexa and hang out with the tag team for a little while, and then, next year at some point she has another feud with Tiffy, and we're like, okay, well, fine. It's been a while. We'll get back on board.
Yeah.
I also don't want to run back the Rhea-Io thing because Rhea's never beaten Io.
I would love for that to continue for as long as they can continue that.
If they do have that match, and that is the path they go, Io has to win it.
Yeah.
You can't have Rhea beat her yet.
No.
It has to be something really big.
Because
it's got to be a WrestleMania.
that's essentially going to be Io's first big defense after winning at WrestleMania.
Well, she's done nothing since.
Exactly. So going back into a feud with Rhea Ripley and then having Rhea just walk over her and win the title.
But I also
why not just change the championship at WrestleMania if that's the case?
Yeah, I agree. Oh, look, fun
shall
match.
we move on?
Lots of.
It was a great match.
Nice
to have a women's street fight on a pay-per-view, which was real good. Moving on to that aforementioned Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross match. Constant my games between the two, but what I wanted to talk about was the arm drop saga, which a lot of people are talking about. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Because let's rewind it a couple weeks to Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw. The ref looks at Jey Uso's arm, touches it a little bit, and it's like, and then he calls for the bell.
Mm-hmm. So
just so happens that this referee decided to actually do the 3-arm drop thing for once.
Well,
what is the logic behind that? What is the logic behind that?
There is no logic behind that. I don't like it.
It's dumb, stupid. His arm hit the mat. I was like, yeah, Karrion. Wait, what is she doing? Why? Needs to be one consistent rule for that stuff. You can't have the same shit happen differently on different shows.
I agree.
Dumb.
Understand that
Stupid.
point. I agree.
Stupid.
To talk about the rest of the match, there was obviously news throughout the week as to why Karrion Kross doesn't get pushed. It's because he
This whole no back bumps
Doesn't take
thing.
back bumps?
I was watching this match very firmly to see back bumps,
he took
and I
back
saw a
bumps.
lot.
he took a lot of them, and whether or not that was a retribution to what's been online, he's like, all right,
I
fine.
thought about that. I reckon he was like, I've seen these rumors. Get ready, everyone. I'm going to take some bumps.
If I was him, if I was Karrion, I would have walked on my entrance and then fallen over and gone back up. And fallen over and gone back up. And just like, "Argh!"
Take a bump on the way.
straight away. Just be like, shut up, idiots. So the match was fine. I think the problem that we've got and what this match didn't do was give me any reason to ever watch a Karrion Kross wrestling match again. Karrion as a character is great. He's good talker. His backstage stuff is good. When he was in the ring with Sammy, the most important parts was when he was yelling at Sammy and slapping him, being like, tell them that Karrion was right. Tell them that you're a liar. That was the part that got him over. Him talking. Him wrestling, don't care.
Bro, I was like this with him back in the black and gold NXT era. Like, everyone was raving Karrion Kross. Like, his character work was great. But in the ring, the only match that I was like, oh, maybe I kind of see what people mean was when he had a match with Finn Balor, who probably carried him to a good match.
Because that's what Fergal does, mate.
Yeah, Fergal, Devitt.
But yeah, like this to me is kind of like, look, this is why Karrion's a mid-carder. Sammy got his hometown match, or, Saudi match because he's Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
It was fine.
It makes sense why they replaced AJ and Dom with that match, just so they can get Sammy on the card.
100%. And look, this was a perfectly fine 3-star match. No absolute issues with it. But also, I'm never going to talk about this match again. I'm never going to go back and watch it. It's totally fine.
I feel like Karrion could have gone with a win there, and it actually meant something other than Sammy just getting the win in Saudi.
And the fact that, like, the finish, which we've seen plenty of times, but it was like, he's got him in the corner, he's been beating him up, and then it's running clothesline, telling you're a liar, running clothesline, oh, haluva kick, it's over.
Yeah.
This was...
Sammy's matches are getting predictable, dude.
Don't be that guy. Don't.
No, I'm still on the Sammy bandwagon. I am penciling him in as the Saudi Rumble winner next year.
Oh.
Mate, I will even Sharpie marker his name as my prediction for the winner this far in advance.
Yep. No, I think
7
that's
months in advance, I guarantee you Sammy is winning the Rumble in Saudi, and he's going to WrestleMania next year, and he was finally winning that championship.
Yes, and he's beating Gunther. I agree. But I also think... I agree.
Just run it back to WrestleMania 40, just with the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, just change the title.
Boom, done.
That's fine. But yeah, look, middling match. I just think this proves that Karrion is over with the internet community, but there's a reason why he's not getting the push, and it's because
you can't take back bumps.
he's average. I don't think he's...
That rumor was so dumb. I was like, I almost fell for it. I was like, now that I think of it, have I ever seen him take a back bump? And I was in the chat, I was like, oh, have I seen him take a back bump? Stupid. Let's move on to the next match. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship. What a match.
This was
Well,
fine.
what an ending to the match.
This was all fine, and then JC Mateo came down. And we're like,
And
all right,
that's,
here we
and
go. Bloodline
again,
rules, baby.
I was thinking as I was watching, I was like, yeah, bloodline rules, nothing's happening until someone else gets involved. JC Mateo comes down for the distraction and a returning Tonga Loa, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, now we've got a third one
There's
to
too many
add into the
Tongas?
mix. No, we've got a third one now because,
Tala Tonga.
no, Tonga Loa was unsuccessful in helping Solo win at that point.
Oh,
so
yep.
then Tonga comes out,
Yep.
takes out Jacob Fatu, rolls him back in the ring. Samoan spike, 1, 2, 3. Solo Sikoa is your new United States Championship. And I'm very happy with that decision.
I'm absolutely here for this. I feel that Jacob is due for bigger things eventually.
I don't think this hurts Jacob at all, though.
Not even slightly. I think he can win this back. I think SummerSlam, you're probably going to get a triple threat. Jimmy, Jacob, and Solo.
Jimmy.
Really, if you want to, I mean, I'm even happy to throw in Jay. If you want to do a real big bloodline rules type thing and you want to have all four
Well,
of them
Jay
go for it.
didn't win King of the Ring, so he's not doing anything of
I mean,
use.
he's on the opposite brand, but I mean, I can see...
What brand split?
Correct. But I think this is good, right? Solo as a heel character has been so good. The way he's just been scoffing and You know, he just whatever.
His little imitations. The post show.
Oh, four letters, one word. Stop.
Stop.
So good.
His mannerisms are amazing. And you drop the microphone.
You're the one that's holding a microphone.
Yeah, see? This is why I'm now holding a microphone. Because I'm not an idiot like Dan.
Shut up.
Nah, it's all right. I'm just conveniently distracting people while you fix your microphone. Anyway.
We're back.
Solo and his antics lately, I feel like everyone's starting to click onto the fact that he is a very good asset. He's improved so much in that form since he was just Roman's silent beast that was waiting in the wings to help him win.
Like Cody Rhodes, I think Jacob is a better chaser. I think Jacob is a better chaser when the odds are stacked against him. And like when he first came in, right, and he debuted and he was taking out Cody and Seth and everybody was like, you're like, oh my God, he's taking out 4 or 5 people
from the get-go.
He's insane.
Yeah.
And now that he was a champion, you're like, well, like it's cool, but like he's just.
I mean, he won a fatal 4-way, but
he's just beating up on Solo. Whereas when you've got him to have to beat up, you know, Tonga Loa, Tala Tonga, JC.
Say that 3 times fast.
And Solo Sikoa, it's going to be really fun to watch him try and get through all of them to get back to Solo.
Yeah.
And then whether or not, like I said, you get Jimmy involved with the family thing. Does Jimmy turn? Does Jimmy go back with Solo?
Yeah.
Like there's heaps of options here. And I think that this is probably the smarter play. And I like the title changing. I like that there is a doubt that someone isn't retaining their title. The same with on SmackDown, we had Zelina Vega drop the title to Julia.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that yet. I figured they'd have some sort of weird finish. Zelina would retain, and then they'd have the title change at Evolution. But yeah, I'm
reset
happy
that
for
US title, especially the women's one, because Zelina was never doing anything great with it. So give it to Julia, let her out wrestle everybody, and have a really good feud.
Yeah,
I think that's a smart choice, and I like the fact that this US title now can go from Jacob to Solo. It can go from Solo back to Jacob. It can go back to LA Knight. It can go to Damian Priest. It can go to wherever you want. No. But like every couple of months, change it. I don't need to see another
big long title
2-year title reign like Gunther had. I don't need to see Roman holding things for 4 years. Switch the titles around, make it exciting, and make moments happen on your shows.
Yeah, but I think we need to have that conversation now that Solo's got the United States Championship. I think it's been long enough that we can say Solo is the greatest United States champion of all time.
I thought we were going to say I love you, Solo, but okay.
Well, no, I've been saying that all the time since he won the title. Love you, Solo. I can't do the clap anymore because I'm holding a microphone like an idiot.
It's all right, got it. I got you.
Ruins that part, but yeah, you get it. All right, let's move on to the last match, the Queen of the Ring final. And don't get all smug because we both predicted on last week's episode that Jade would win.
Because she's not a tag team wrestler.
He's kind of... If you've been watching the podcast over the last few weeks, you know exactly what Dan's talking about. If not, and you're new to the podcast, hello.
Hi, welcome. Like and subscribe.
Dan suspected that when Asuka returned, she would just get eliminated first round of the Queen of the Ring tournament and then go back to being Kabuki Warriors with Kairi Sane. Did that happen in the first week of the Queen of the Ring tournament? In the first round? No. Did it happen in the second round? No. She got all the way to the final. And
now is it going to happen?
No, hopefully not.
You watch.
Maybe.
You watch on Raw.
Well, now that Liv's out, they're going to need more people for the women's tag team division. So now it makes sense.
Evolution's in 2 weeks' time. You watch on Raw, there'll be a women's tag team elimination match.
I did see a rumor that it's going to be a women's tag team championship triple threat match at Evolution. So maybe that's where the Kabuki Warriors factor in.
Did you see the lineup for that was predicted?
No.
I saw that same post, and it was... Raquel and Roxanne.
Yeah. Duh.
Against the Bella Twins.
Okay.
And Lay Cool. Michelle McCool and Layla.
Nobody wants to see that
I swear to God, if you book that match WWE
please
and you
don't
have Raquel destroy every single one of them, you're doing it wrong. Because there is, if you put that match together, there is 0% chance that I believe that the other two can beat Raquel and Roxanne. 0%.
Especially being Hall of Famers. I'm not going to call them old. They're Hall of Famers.
They're all Hall of Famers, correct. Yeah. None of them are currently practicing wrestlers.
There we go.
In-ring competitors.
Back to Jade and Asuka. Jade gets the win. A nice few bits of reversals throughout the match. There was one a couple that I noted down where Asuka went to do the knee bar on Jade, but then she reversed that into the German suplex, like the wheelbarrow. That looked phenomenal.
Jade looked phenomenal in her Storm outfit. I'll give her that.
Yes. The knee
great.
strike that Asuka went to do that Jade reversed into the powerbomb, and she essentially just like deadlifted and squatted Asuka up to do that powerbomb. Phenomenal.
I don't think anyone is doubting that Jade is strong.
No.
Are people still doubting that Jade can wrestle?
I don't think they should. I feel like this match was pretty good. Oh, sure, she botched the end. If we're going to use the B word. I know a lot of people hate the B word, but if we're going to use that, it wasn't the smoothest ending. Okay, that's fine.
The commentators both.
I've seen worse. I've seen people get kick out of a 3 count before. Let's roll it back to Damian Priest at SummerSlam the other year, where he forgot to kick out against Seth Rollins. Was it?
Yeah, or when Gunther's Randy's shoulders went down last year, King of the Ring. Like
shit happens, man. We won't even talk about this in 2 months. I mean, we'd talk about last year's stuff.
I just don't think she's as smooth in the ring as she could be. She's definitely improved a lot.
I don't think she needs to be being the powerhouse. You think about, like, I get that she's a powerhouse. She's fit. She's strong.
Yep.
I don't think she has to be as agile as everyone wants her to be.
Even after like what you saw on this card, on this night, on this pay-per-view, is she as good as Rhea? No. She's good as, she good as Raquel?
No. Oh, yes. Raquel's very situational.
Is she?
Yes. Because her best matches have been with Rhea Ripley.
Well, yeah.
And that gives you all you need to know.
So you're saying this is because she had a match against a tag team wrestler in Asuka, and that's why it was so bad? It's not that I hate Asuka, I just hate Reese's opinion of Asuka. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, look, I just didn't expect Asuka to go out in her debut after being injured in the first round of Queen of the Ring. And I just loved to prove you wrong because you were so adamant she was losing in a return match in Queen of the Ring.
You mean exactly...
And you were wrong.
Exactly like Kairi Sane did. When Kairi Sane returned from a major injury and went into a triple threat match for whatever...
Yeah, but she came back like a week or two before. It wasn't the same.
But it was the exact same premise, right? She was out injured.
No.
She came back in a multi-woman match.
She came back and had a match or two before the tournament.
No, but...
Asuka's re-debut was in the tournament.
No, but Kairi's was.
No, she got back the week or two before, didn't she?
Yeah, but in a tournament. I can't remember what it was for. No, it was for the Intercontinental title tournament. It absolutely... I guarantee you, it was like a fatal 4-way.
That's too far back for me to remember.
That's when Kairi came back, and that's the match she lost. So it's the same.
It's funny how we weren't like bitching about that when that happened. Yeah, all this shit about Asuka. It's great.
Fuck this guy.
It's great. You know why? Because I forgot. Because I don't care about Kyrie. I like Asuka more.
Jade winning is fine. It goes to your match with Tiffy at SummerSlam. You're gonna have Jade win.
It goes in line with our theory. Well,
Jade's
your theory. I'm not going to take credit for it.
Jade will beat Tiffy, and then
Naomi cashes in.
Correct. I think that story works, and I think this was fine. I'm glad it's over because I didn't. Once you sort of saw the field develop in the Queen of the Ring, I was like, this is Jade. There was at no point, and I know I've given you shit for the Asuka tag team thing, but at no point did I actually think Asuka was going to win. And I know people have said, yeah, but
I thought after that backstage promo with Io on Monday Night Raw, I thought that was setting it up.
Yeah, but you don't
and that's
need
why
to.
I was going to rub it in even harder. But yeah, they've just got history. They can do a friendly thing. They can just
walk up to each other backstage and be like, do you want to have a match? Let's have a match. All right, let's go. And then Evolution, you've got Asuka versus Io. Great, do it.
Yeah. Arigato gozaimasu.
You don't need to waste Queen of the Ring on that. And I think
fair point. Fair point. But yeah, what's going to happen on that front? Will they do that for the match at Evolution, perhaps, instead of...
I hope it's not Rhea.
Rhea? Yeah, I reckon Io Asuka, man. And just like have them do a good like 5-10 minutes, front or start, where they just do like Joshi style wrestling, and they just beat the shit out of each other. People are going to eat that up.
Well, did you? I don't know.
I know you've said that you're not going to be very keen on the promo battles in the lead up to their face-off, but in the ring, that match is going to be phenomenal.
Well, I'm. This is not it's not completely against them as the language barrier, but that obviously does hurt some of their promo
factor in a little bit.
But I don't see I don't see enough like fire between the two of them to have that promo battle per se.
Yeah, I think they'll just be friendly about it.
Was it a couple of years ago when like they just yelling bitch at each other in Japanese?
Yeah, that's iconic.
Right? Hilarious, but like not very good.
Yeah.
I don't think you need that. I think you just need them to just talk and be like, I can beat you. Well, no, I can beat you. Well, I'm the best wrestler in the world. Well, I can do that. Well, then let's have a match.
Well, I'm the champion.
End of. Whereas, you've got your Rheas, your Charlottes, your Beckys and stuff that are really good at getting a feud over because of how they talk and what they do.
Getting that emotional investment.
Io and Asuka, it's just, let's see who's better.
Yeah, it's literally just going to be like, let's see who's better. Oh my God, this is going to be amazing in the ring. Boom, done.
And the way that I wouldn't mind pitching that would be that you have Io versus Maxine and beat her, like destroy her.
Why are we
on TV.
feeding Maxine, man?
Well, I'm just trying to pick local people. And then Asuka then, beats
Natty.
Alba Fire, right? And then you're like, oh, okay. And then...
Wrong brand, but I get it.
Well, I can't think of who the very mid-card...
I just said Natty.
Okay, fine. They can beat
Mid-Natty. Mid-card Natty.
And then you just watch them one-up each other in their matches to prove who's better. And that's what I think...
And do the same thing to finish a match, but someone else does it better or with more flair.
Do each other's finish.
Yeah, that too. Triple H.
But when did
Inbox,
Asuka start doing the bloody rear end?
Oh, dude, no, I'm not a fan of that. That's Naomi's
Asuka's
thing.
way better than that.
That's Naomi's thing as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, I feel like Asuka's done it before, but not used it as her finish.
Yeah.
That's what's bugging me.
Agree.
Especially because with one of them, people on the internet so conveniently pointed out that she actually missed Alexa Bliss when she did it on SmackDown to qualify for the final.
We won't get into that.
Well, is there anything from the rest of the week that we wanted to talk about?
No, let's just wrap it up as a full night of champions and do that as it was. I think crowd was great. All the matches were great. Punk and Cena was fantastic.
Oh.
Let's, next week when we sit down to our podcast,
We're going to be doing a SummerSlam prediction.
So hit us up in the comments or on our Discord what you think's going to happen at SummerSlam. Obviously, we've now got confirmed Jade versus Tiffy and Cena versus Cody. We know those two will now be happening.
Great matches.
But what else do you think happens at SummerSlam? What do you want to see? Because I think I'm very much on board and I can't wait for my double turn to happen at SummerSlam and go back to our podcast from a month ago and just point everybody to it and say, we said this. We said it was going to happen.
Yep.
And then the cash-in of Naomi. If both of those things happen and we predicted it all out, Triple H.
Look at us go.
I know you're watching the podcast. Just hit us up.
We know you watch.
Tickets for Crown Jewel are on sale this week. Just hit us up in the DMs. And, I'll give you can give us some tickets, media passes. We can have an actual chat to you, all right? We can give you all these ideas. You don't have to watch the podcast.
We'll help out.
Yeah, for sure. For free. Well, when I say free, I mean free tickets to Crown Jewel.
Well, like anytime you come to Australia.
Just,
It can be the little favour. Yeah. You'll get us down there. How would that fall off again? What is going on? All the months and months we've been using these microphones, and that has not fallen off once. What have you done today?
Nothing. Maybe it's because the cord's under my arm, but it's fine. I'm just going to hold it. We'll be fine.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. On the topic of Crown Jewel, come over to our social media pages and into our Discord. Let us know if you've grabbed tickets to Crown Jewel Perth yet. They are on sale. Minimum price for 3 show combinations is about $332 Australian, with tickets scaling up in price depending on where you're sitting in the arena, with most expensive at like a couple of grand because you're sitting down the front.
It was like 15 grand.
15?
I cut the top 2 out because I was like, we're not affording those. So
I'm not made of money, bro. Jesus. Anyway, let us know if you've grabbed tickets to Crown Jewel Perth, or just come have a chat. Come on our social media, have a chat. Let us know if you've cooked up any interesting theories that we haven't talked about. If you've got anything as interesting as a double turn planned for SummerSlam, let us know. Come have a chat. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Mr. Dan Danielson. I've been Matty Moddy. Fucking Jesus.
You've been Rowdy
Roddy Reese. You've been watching us Down Under the Mat, and we will see you next time. Too sweet. We didn't even touch.
You just did an Oscar on me.